Excellent. Welcome to the 2017 Agrifoods and Garden Show. Happy to have you. We're happy to be here in Grand Falls. We're doing demos all weekend. We're also serving samples over here at the Newfoundland and Labrador Federation of Agricultural booth. So we welcome you to go over and try, every hour we've got something new happening. So today we're excited to do a Thai-inspired stir fry. All right, and we're going to kind of go traditional Thai. All right, very easy to make, but we're going to put a little spin on it, and we're going to toss in some Newfoundland vegetables. Okay, so I just want to take a moment to introduce Ben. Hi. Ben's the chef and gander at the Bistro on Row, and he's actually going to do the cooking, and I'm going to do the talking. So I'm getting off easy today, and he's going to have to do all the work. So I'm just going to step aside, and I'm going to let Ben do his thing. So when it comes to Thai stir fry, the thing that's absolutely crucial is the sauce. All right, that sauce ties everything together, and it comes into the noodle just nice. And the noodle that we use is different. It's a rice noodle. Obviously, rice, Asia. So first thing we're going to do to get this rice noodle going, and these are super cheap. They're available in your grocery store. They're about $1.50 a pack, and you get a big yield out of them. So the first thing we're going to do is take room temperature water, about 100 degrees, maybe 90, and we're just going to pour over. All right? Without trying to make a mess. Ben's nervous on stage. So we got, all we did was just pour the water over, no cooking, all right? We're just going to cover it, make sure the heat doesn't come out of the water. We're going to let that sit for about 10 minutes, all right? So while that's sitting for 10 minutes, we're good to go on working on other things. So the first thing we're going to work on is our sauce. Want to make sure that gets, so when mise en place, putting things in place, all right? Getting things, when you're cooking stir fry, you don't want to have to be prepping while you're cooking. You just want to get everything done and then cook, all right? So that's what we're doing here. So the noodles are soaking. Next, we're going to make a simple syrup. Now, usually it's palm sugar. And palm sugar is a mild sugar. It's got a golden color, and it's delicious. A little harder to get here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use white sugar instead, plain white sugar, and we're going to go 3 to 1, all right? So 3 parts water, 1 part sugar, all right? So Ben's just going to put that into the pot, and he can eyeball that. He's pretty good there. So we've got, well, that's a lot more sugar than water, but 3 to 1, follow the recipe, you'll be good. So we get that on the heat. That's 1 part of the sauce, okay? All the way down. Okay. So that's 1 part of the sauce is our sugar. Next part of our sauce is going to be tamarind water, okay? Tamarind's a fruit, but it's sour. Not sour like acidic, it's sour. So when it comes to Asian flavors, it's all about salty, sweet, sour, and spicy. So we're going to kind of omit the spicy part just because of potential sensitivities. And we're just going to focus on the other 3. So the sugar water is going to be our sweet. The tamarind water is going to be our sour. And then our fish sauce is going to be our salty, okay? And this is available in the grocery stores here as well. So tamarind is a fruit, and you can get it in 3 ways. You can get it as the fruit, whole. You can get it as the pulp of the fruit, which comes like that. It's around $1 a pack, okay? You can get that in the stores here as well. Or you can buy the paste in a jar. Any one of them will work, okay? So where we've got this one here, which is the actual pulp, you can still see some of the seeds that are in it from the, from the fruit. We're just going to put that into another pot, and we're going to put water over that. We're going to bring it to a boil, cover it, and let it sit for 5 minutes. So why that's coming to a heat, what I like to do, just break that up, is kind of break that up. Get that all mixed into the water, and let the heat bring that out. And then all we're going to do is strain it off. So just pour it through a strainer, throw the pulp away, and what you're left with is just this kind of, pulpy water. But it's really sour, all right? And it's absolutely delicious. So, sugar's melted. Give that a stir. So that one there is good. Put the cover on that. And when you're making simple syrup's used in all kinds of things, from drinks to soaking berries in to, there's lots of uses for it. So it's a handy thing to have around your kitchen. We get that out of there. That burner. And then the tamarind water, as soon as heat gets into that, we cover that. And we let that sit as well. So now we've got basically our noodles sitting, we've got our tamarind water, and we've got our sugar water, and we've got our fish sauce. So now we've got our noodles, and we've got our sauce, okay? So in order to make the sauce, once we have a finished product, it's super simple. We take our tamarind water, and you don't want to make it in advance. Keep it all separate and combine it right before you're about to cook like we're doing now. We just add our, again, bringing together those flavors of salty, sweet, and sour. So we got our tamarind water, we got our sugar water, and this is our fish sauce straight from the bottle, okay? So we got our sauce done. Next is mise en place. So basically we're going to get everything that we need now to cook in place, okay? So we start it, we got our sauce. That's some peanuts and some green onions. We've got egg. We've got tofu. We've got chicken. And one thing that we're going to do a little different here is adding in the Newfoundland vegetables, okay? So I'm just going to talk about that for a minute. So what we've got there is grated carrot, all right, from Mark's Market. It's a beautiful carrot. They're super sweet. They're bright orange. Really, really good product. So we basically grated those. We got some cabbage from Mark as well. We just julienne that, all right, just shredded it up so you can kind of just see the size cut there, all right? And then you can see the grate on the carrot. And all we're going to do is put that into a bowl. And I've got some kosher salt here, all right? Sea salt will work fine. Even table salt will work fine. I recommend kosher, all right, for brining and for things like this. So what we're going to do is just toss basically those vegetables with salt. And what the salt's going to do is it's going to draw the moisture out. And it's going to it's not going to cook the vegetable, but it's going to soften it, all right? It's going to make it more palatable, and it's going to season it as well. So it blends into the dish a little better. So all he's doing is tossing those vegetables. If you guys can see it, try to get in the mirror there a little bit. He's just going to toss those vegetables in that salt and let it sit again for a few minutes. And as it sits, the water will come out, the vegetable will kind of be a bit pliable, the texture will change slightly, and it'll be absolutely perfect for this stir fry. So once that sits, we basically get our finished product, which has been salted. So you can already see that's kind of raw, and that's just been salted. It's kind of softer. It's got a nicer flavor. Some of the bitterness has been taken out of it from the salt. And then all we do is rinse it and strain it. So it's just salt on it, let it sit, rinse it, strain it, separate it. And then we got our vegetables ready to go, okay? So just to get ourselves in order so we can start cooking. And again, before you start cooking, stir fry is very important that it's done quick and it's done over high heat. That's the whole point of a stir fry. So generally speaking, you would do that in a wok and you do it over gas, all right? Get a high heat, big wok, stirring and flipping. We're going to try to show you guys how to do this at home without all that kind of traditional equipment. So we've got a regular fry pan. We've got our mise en place. So the first thing that we're going to do is try to sear off our proteins, all right? Our egg, our chicken, and our tofu. And what we want to do is we don't want to overcook it, but we want to get a good hard sear on the underside. And the only way to do that is to give your pan space. So Ben, fire that thing up. It's time that we get cooking. That's what I say. Enough talking, time to cook. Any questions so far? About the sauce, about the vegetables, anything? Don't be shy, speak up. We're all food lovers here, I hope. What's super important here is patience, all right? Let that oil get hot. Hot, 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 hot.
You want to see a light smoke.
There you go. Like, we're going to let that go and try to show you. It's a little hard with the mirror, but you kind of want it to be smoking a little bit. Not burning, but just you want it hot, all right? And then the first thing we're going to do is add our proteins. But again, we're not going to do that until we're fully prepared to, right? So just to make sure before we start we're okay, we've got our veg, We've got our protein. We've got our noodle. So you guys saw how those noodles went in. They were brittle. They were dry, right? After 10 minutes of soaking, this is what they're like. They're springy. They're bouncy. And you, like a pasta, you don't want it to be soggy. All right? You want it to be a little bit of chew in there, okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to cook it again. It's going to get cooked into that sauce. It's going to be tossed over, and it's going to soak up, and it's going to continue to cook. So you don't want it to be totally soft coming out of the water. So we've got our noodle, sauce, vegetables, green onion, and our peanuts. So as you can see, that's super hot, and I don't know if you can see on the mirror, but when the oil gets super hot, it starts to kind of separate into its own pools, you know? The heat is, and that's really what you want to do. You just want to get it scorching. So we got this thing up on blast, all right? And the first thing we're going to do is, like I say, sear off our protein. So, Ben, when you're ready. So see that egg popping and blistering? That's exactly what we're looking for, nice high heat.
I'm going to try to keep the tofu and the chicken and eggs separate. It's good to have space in the pan to get a nice sear.
So by keeping things separate, you're giving it room to sear. You're not, if you overcrowd a pan, the heat creates steam, and then it steams instead of searing. So that's why you want that super high heat, okay? So we're just going to let that sit, and on the underside of all of it, get nice color. Color is flavor, okay? So once we've gotten that sit for a little bit, sometimes I'll spread that oil around just to make sure. And now we can start tossing. Go ahead. So what we're going to do is Ben's going to start breaking that up now. And he's just going to kind of get that spread around. And you can see some of the color on the underside of the tofu. All right, that's all you're looking for is just kind of a little bit of color under all of it. All right, break that egg up. And at this point in time, you don't want to overcook everything, okay? So you want it's going to continue to cook as we add the noodles and the sauce. So even if the chicken is not totally cooked through, it's going to cook as it continues to go. So in goes the noodles. Beautiful. In goes the veg. And this is where we're just going to throw in the sauce and then just toss and flip, toss and flip, toss and flip, okay? And all we're doing is just working through that wetness and allowing it to soak up into the noodle to finish cooking and just get everything tossed. There you go. It's smelling good. Just give the pan a toss. There we go. It's colorful, it's delicious, it's fast to make once you have your mise-en in place. And then what we'll do is for an extra color, we'll just toss some of those green onion around. A spatula there. And then we got some peanuts to finish. And that is a Thai-inspired stir fry at home. So we've got some samples coming on our way. My kitchen crew can hear me out there. And we can start sampling some of this, actually. So a little bit of lime juice at the end is always nice.